Hello and welcome to the unit on computer networks. This is the part 16 of this particular unit and today we are going to discuss about switching. So without any further ado, let us try to understand the meaning of the word switching. So what is switching? It is the mechanism that helps in deciding the best route for data transmission if there are multiple paths in a larger network. So as you already know that in a network there may be many nodes. Nodes means the computer. So let us assume that this is a network and these are the different names assigned to the nodes. Nodes means the computer. Now let's say we want to transfer data from the node E to the node D. Now from the node E to the node D there may be different paths. Let's see what these paths are. One of the paths can be this one, the one which you are seeing, which is highlighted in red. Another path may be this one. Another path may be this one. Next path may be this one. So as we can see here, for going from one node to the another node, there may be more than one path. Switching is such a mechanism which helps in deciding what is the best route among all the different paths available. So let us discuss what are the different types of switching techniques available. The first switching technique available is circuit switching. Next we have packet switching and thirdly is the message switching. We will be discussing each type of switching in brief. Let us start our discussion with the concept of circuit switching. So what happens in this type of switching? In this technique, first the complete physical connection between two computers is established and then data is transmitted from the source computer to the destination computer. That means, let's say this is a network. Now here we have various nodes. This is one node, this is another node. Like these are different nodes. So many paths are there. Now let's say our aim is to send data from terminal 1 to terminal 6. So before data transmission occurs, the entire path along which the data will go will be reserved in case of circuit switching. What is the advantage if the entire path is reserved? If the entire path is reserved, then there will be no congestion in the network. Now it will be reserved for the duration when data transmission will take place. So for the entire duration during which the data transmission will take place, no other transmission can happen via that particular route. So the main point is the entire path is reserved, as you can see here. The basic necessity for switching technique is to set up an end-to-end connection between the nodes before any data is sent. So this process of reserving the entire path occurs before any data is sent from the sender to the receiver. So first work is reserving the entire path, and only after the entire path is reserved, only after that data transmission takes place. The dedicated path established between sender and receiver provides a guaranteed data rate. Now, since the path is already reserved, no other transmission can happen via that path. Therefore, it provides a guaranteed data rate. Data can be transmitted without any delays once the circuit is established. Since the path is reserved, again I will say that there will not be any delays. Got it? That's all about circuit switching. So I'm repeating again, here the entire path is reserved before any transmission takes place. Let's go to the next type of switching. So this is the dedicated path, as you can see here. Now let's go to the next type of switching, which is the packet switching. In packet switching, what happens? It is a method of grouping data into packets that are transmitted over a digital network. Here what happens? The entire data is divided into certain fragments and these fragments are known as packets. So here the data is fragmented into different parts. Let me just make you understand with the help of a diagram here. So let's say the data to be transmitted is cat. This is the entire data. So what happens? So this is what type of switching? This is the packet switching. Packet switching. Here, before data is transmitted, it is fragmented into different parts. So let's say the first part is C, second part is A, and the third part is T. After the data is fragmented, they are sent via different paths. So this is, let's say, node A, this is node B. Our work is to send data from node A to node B. So the entire data is divided into some fragments. These are the fragments known as the packets, and these packets are sent via different routes. As you can see, let's say the entire fragment is represented by green color, blue color, and this orange color. As you can see, it is traveling through different routes, but at the destination, which is B, they are again assembled to get the entire message. Okay, so let's see what the theoretical aspect goes like. Okay, I'll discuss from this page. So in this technique, there is no requirement to establish a dedicated channel. Here there is no requirement for a dedicated channel. Data will be fragmented into certain packets, and each packet will take its own route. Here the messages are broken down into various parts known as packets, and then the packets are transmitted separately over the network. It's not that the packet will go via all the packets will go via the same route. It's not like that. Different packets will go via different routes, and then at the end they are again reassembled. The data packets take different routes to their destination. As you can see from here, the message is broken down into different packets, and then it is being sent via different nodes. Host 1 is the sender and host 2 is the receiver. At the receiver end, we can see that it is again reassembled. So this is how packet switching works. Again, I am saying the entire message is broken down into various fragments, as you can see here, and then at the receiver's end, they are again reassembled. Got it? Let's go to the last type of switching, which is known as the message switching. What is it? It is a switching technique in which data is routed in its entirety from the source node to the destination node, one hop at a time. Here in this case, in case of message switching, data is not broken down into packets. The entire data is routed from the source to the destination node, and in between, if it finds some congestion, it will stop there, and then after the route is clear, again it will go there. Let me explain with the help of a diagram. As you can see, this is the source and this is the destination, and let's say M is the message here. So the data will go and the entire data will be stored in its buffer. This approach is known as store and forward. Why? Because here it will find some kind of congestion, it will wait here, and then again it will forward. Here there is no congestion, so it is forwarded to the next hop. Again here some congestion may be there, so data is stored, and then finally it is routed to the destination. Here I have shown a different route, but in this part, this diagram, from here data is stored again, here data is stored again, and then in that way it will reach the destination. Message switching, you can relate it with the traffic. Let's say you want to go from destination A to destination B. There may be different routes from one destination to the other. Now let's say you are going through this route, but here you find that there are lots of traffic. What you will do? You will wait here. Then once the traffic is cleared, again you will take the route. Then here, let's say again you find some traffic, you will wait here, and again once the traffic is cleared, in that way you will go to your destination. This is known as message switching. So during message routing, every intermediate switch in the network stores the whole message. Now, whenever the message is stored, it is not broken down into different fragments. Each intermediate node stores the whole message. If the entire network's resources are engaged, it stores the data in its buffer until ample resources become available. Now, why this store and forward is happening? Because some of the network resources may be engaged, and if the network resources are engaged, the current data cannot be sent to the next node. Therefore, the data is stored in its buffer, and this approach is known as store and forward approach. This is known as store and forward approach. And this is the diagram for message switching, as I have already explained here. Okay, so that's all about the process of switching. I hope you have understood it. Now I have a course on computer network. The link is given in the description. There all the different topics are discussed serially. With the videos you get the PDF notes also, and you can purchase it from the link. The link is given in the description. I hope that this session was useful. Thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next session. Thank you.